So in this video, I want to talk about how long match betting will truly last. Now, match betting is of course a great way of making money online. It's a great side hustle to make money online. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a student looking to lock in a few £100 extra each and every month to spend, you know, on whatever that's going to come in handy for you, that's for sure. Or whether you're someone like me who's got a significantly larger bankroll than a student would likely have, and is able to push the limits of how much profit I can pull out from match betting. Now obviously match betting is scalable in that regard, so if a student, let's just say, has a bankroll or a float or whatever you want to say of about £1,000, and someone who's a serious match bet has a bankroll of £10,000, obviously the person with the larger money on hand is going to be able to make more money. So let's say the person with a larger bankroll is getting on a two-up, they might be able to tie up £4,000 or £5,000 between the bookmaker and the betting exchange, whereas the second guy might only be able to tie up £1,000 and the reward isn't going to be as high. Same thing applies with extra places as well. You're not going to be able to put as much money in as someone who's accumulated more money and has a larger bankroll. So obviously match betting is scalable in that regard. In terms of doing it full time, I feel like it's very, very unlikely that you're going to be able to make match betting a full-time job in 2021. Bookmakers are becoming more and more sophisticated at identifying value players and value bettors and match bettors or whatever you want to say, and doing it full-time is a little bit unrealistic. In your first year, definitely you can knock in at least 20,000, maybe up to 30,000. And from there, you're obviously going to get restricted and it's going to become an increasingly painstaking process to pull out profits because of the gubbins you're getting and the state restrictions you're getting and all these things that come along with people who are urban and with people who are taking value. So obviously what I'm getting at is match betting is a great way of making money online. You're not going to become a millionaire, it's not going to make you super, super rich, but you can definitely pull out some decent profits each month. And if you're someone who needs a little bit of extra cash, it's going to go a long way, match betting. In terms of how long it will last in the future, I feel like this stems down to two factors. Now, the first thing a lot of people will say is that the free bet sizes and the bonuses will continue to get smaller. For me personally, I think that's pretty unlikely. The bonuses and the free bets that bookmakers are offering are already really, really small. You know, a £5 free bet seems to be the industry standard between all the bookmakers. They all seem to offer £5 free bets pretty religiously. Sometimes it's like a £10 free bet as well. But obviously all these bookmakers are all competing with each other all the time. They're all trying to suck in as many punters and as many recreational gamblers as they possibly can, and free bets is just the easiest way to do it. So in terms of bonuses and free bets, I don't see them getting much worse than they already are. They're already pretty small. You know, if you were doing match betting 10 years ago, from what I hear from other people what were doing it in that time period, the free bet sizes were much larger and the bonuses were much better, and it was harder to get gubbed as well. But for me, the two big factors what could slash match betting's lifespan right in half. The first one would be the obvious one, a change in legislation here in the UK. So a change in UK law essentially. You see a lot of campaigning and stuff like that about, you know, betting and banning betting and, you know, putting restrictions on people's loss limits and all that kind of stuff. We saw some of it earlier this year with Paddy Power and Betfair incorporating the £500 loss limit for people under the age of 25. I think it was a £500 loss limit anyway. But what we could see over the next couple of years in the near future would be something like a law being passed where bookmakers weren't allowed to incentivise people to place bets on their platform. So in other words, they weren't allowed to give people free opportunities to make money on bets and try and suck in people to their website. And obviously if that happened, if that law was passed for whatever reason, that would mark the end of match betting, wouldn't it? If bonuses and free bets weren't allowed to be offered out anymore, that would cancel out all the free bet opportunities. The extra place offer may be taken away, and the two-up offer is obviously a way of sucking in recreational custom as well, so that would probably be taken away. So if something like that happened, that would just be the complete worst outcome possible. Match betting would be completely done and people would have to look elsewhere to make money online. Now to me, I think this is pretty unlikely, and I feel like the government has much more important issues and pressing issues that they need to be dealing with as opposed to dealing with banning free bets being offered out by bookmakers. Bookmakers also generate a lot of tax to the government as well, I would imagine. I know a lot of them move away to like Gibraltar and stuff to try and avoid paying tax, but I would imagine they're still paying tax to some degree as they're based here in the UK, especially a lot of high street shops. So I don't think it's on the government's priority list to be banning free bets anytime in the near future, if at all, ever. Now the second thing, which I think is considerably more likely, is the rise of artificial intelligence which bookmakers are using. Now the rise of artificial intelligence, in my opinion, might be able to identify people who are value bettors or match bettors or arbors very, very quickly. It might start looking into so many complicated metrics and doing loads of crazy algorithmic things, it might get to a point where the bookmaker can use this software they're using and use the algorithms that they're using and identify someone who's a value player, a value bettor, a match bettor, an herber, whatever you want to say, very, very quickly. And if that occurs, which I do feel like is getting more and more likely the further into the future we get, something like that occurs, obviously that is going to significantly impact match betting and the future of match betting. I do feel like over the next few years it will become considerably harder to make money from match betting, and the amount of profit you can get out each year will continue to drop as the algorithms get more and more sophisticated. Hopefully I'm wrong on that one, but I do see something like that happening as technology continues to increase and get more sophisticated and stuff like that. So what do you guys think? Have I missed something out? Is there something that's going to come out and put a massive halt to match betting? Is it just going to continue as it is for many, many years? Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on it. And if you want to see some more content from me, I'll pop up 2 videos on screen now. Feel free to watch them. It is much appreciated if you do. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon in the next video.